What's the role of a financial investor director in the trade sale acquisition process? Any transaction is complicated with lots of different compartments and lots of different stakeholders. I think one of the key roles for a financial investor is to work with the key stakeholders in making sure that they are all aligned, motivated and interested in getting a transaction completed. And in our transaction, the Distra transaction, there were lots of different stakeholders. We had other key financial investors, we had management, and we also had a founder group as well that we needed to manage. One of the complications with the other major financial investor is that they were also a major customer as well in Distra. So trying to manage all of that process, making sure that everyone was united was one of our key roles, because I think to get a good outcome you need to have all of the stakeholders all moving in the one direction, and as much as possible you want that to be opaque to the acquirer, because if the acquirer senses there's some type of disharmony, they will definitely use that as an advantage to drive down price and insist on much tougher terms and conditions. I think we also have a role as a bit of a backup project manager to make sure that we work with the advisors to make sure that things are being progressed, whether that's other interested parties like some type of plan B, or making sure that due diligence remains on schedule. One of the things we did with the help of GrowthPoint was to have weekly telephone calls, or actually bi-weekly telephone calls every Tuesday and Friday morning during the transaction. Would spend anything from 30 minutes to 90 minutes on the telephone, making sure that everything was being progressed in the right direction, and basically all of the tasks were being completed. Because again, I think it's really important that these things are done in a timely fashion. In my experience, transactions have a natural shelf life, and if you don't get them done within that shelf life, I think you run the huge risk of a deal falling over, or alternatively, the acquirer getting somewhat frustrated with the process, and you often see that in terms of getting price reductions or a harder stance in terms of negotiating contracts and documentation and the like.